The latest GDP report shows the U.S. economy grew at 1.4%.
Issue, the U.S. economy staring down hot inflation.
Core inflation in the
economy isn't as strong as actually the headline suggests.
Is America's economic decline a prediction, a certainty, or simply a possibility? For decades, the United States has been the center of the global economy. Its growth, stability, and influence helped turn the U.S. dollar into the world's most trusted currency. Today, the dollar is used across global trade and is widely seen as one of the safest assets in the world. Even during financial crises, geopolitical conflicts, and major global uncertainties, investors around the world have continued to flock to the U.S. dollar. That trust comes from America's economic strength, political stability, and perhaps its military power, combined with the petrodollar agreement with Saudi Arabia. But that trust is starting to crack. The reasons behind this shift can be divided into two categories: internal factors and external factors. Let's begin with the internal ones. This year, U.S. government debt has reached $39 trillion. In simple terms, this surge in debt is the result of the government spending consistently exceeding its revenue, particularly tax income. At the same time, the Federal Reserve has kept interest rates elevated in an effort to reduce the money supply and bring inflation under control. But higher interest rates come with a cost. As borrowing becomes more expensive, the government's interest payments continue to grow, causing the national debt to expand even further over time. Like a snowball rolling downhill, the debt keeps getting bigger. In mathematics, this effect is known as compound interest. And the larger the debt becomes, the faster it grows. Ray Dalio, the founder of Bridgewater Associates, has warned that the United States is entering what he calls a debt death spiral.
Money, debt, force that creates wealth and opportunities. The internal conflict where you don't trust the system.
He is concerned that, if left unaddressed, the growing debt burden could contribute to a major economic crisis in the United States in the future. However, he believes that the U.S. government will continue to pay its debts, and that the central bank will likely print more money when necessary. In my opinion, the United States is currently in a very sensitive phase. A single policy mistake or miscalculation could have consequences that are much worse than expected. At the same time, the country is experiencing growing political division between two opposing sides. As a result, even a relatively small issue can create more tension than it normally would. Try asking yourself, what exactly does AI offer? The answer is clear efficiency, maximum productivity, and no complaints. By June 2026, employee-related efficiency measures had reached 45,849. Throughout 2026, a total of 443,604 workers were laid off, with AI being the primary driver. When a company can achieve twice the output with two fewer workers, it becomes obvious why such a decision would be made. Major companies implementing these efficiency measures include Amazon, which eliminated 30,000 corporate roles throughout 2025-2026. Oracle cut 21,000 jobs. Meta laid off 8,000 employees in May of this year. If large companies create a pattern and a system, that pattern will naturally be copied and adapted by smaller companies. All of these numbers are only the first layer of a newly emerging way of working, one that reduces the opportunities available to fresh graduates trying to build their career paths. Dario Amodei, the founder of Anthropic, or what we know as Claude, has stated that the AI and work systems his company is developing could eliminate low-skilled jobs. Entry-level white-collar jobs. Examples include financial analysts, junior web developers, and even accountants. This is quite understandable because work at this level tends to be repetitive, follows established procedures, and is performed through a computer. But the reality is more nuanced. AI is not replacing every job. It is mainly automating predictable, repetitive tasks, while roles like nurses, security personnel, police officers, and judges still require human judgment and adaptability. What worries me more is how the rules are changing, especially for recent graduates. A university degree often takes years and significant money, whether through debt, family savings, or part-time work. In return, it promises a path to a stable career. But after graduation, that promise feels less certain. Many entry-level jobs that once opened the door to the workforce are now being done by systems that need no salary, benefits, or time off. Progress may boost efficiency, but it can also close opportunities for first-time job seekers. The gap between what people are promised and what they receive has long been a source of social unrest, especially when it affects those who did everything right and still end up worse off. That concern should not be ignored. If these frustrations keep building, they can move from personal disappointment to public pressure, turning into demands for answers from governments, institutions, and society. BRICS is moving away from the US dollar. It started with a fear. In 2022, the West froze $300 billion of Russia's foreign reserves overnight with a single political decision. This isn't about ideology, it's about countries that no longer want their money to be frozen that easily. Since then, the dollar's share of global foreign exchange reserves has fallen from 73% to 54%. While Russia and China now conduct 99% of their bilateral trade using the ruble and yuan instead of the dollar. This is what makes de-dollarization significant. The global demand for dollars is what allows the United States to borrow cheaply and makes its financial sanctions so effective. If that demand shrinks, both advantages weaken. China recently reported 5% GDP growth in the first quarter of 2026. But much of that growth appears to be driven by manufacturers rushing shipments before U.S. tariffs take full effect, rather than by a strong domestic economy. Meanwhile, the United States has been engaged in conflict with Iran since February 2026, a war that some independent economists estimate could ultimately cost as much as $1 trillion. This is not an isolated event since 9/11. The total cost of U.S. overseas wars has exceeded $8 trillion. And this is where global confidence begins to crack. Trust in U.S. government bonds has fallen from 71% to just 33% in 2 years. For the first time in its history, an OMFIF survey found that more central banks plan to reduce their dollar reserves than increase them. But this is not a dollar collapse. The dollar still accounts for roughly 58% of global reserves. What is changing is not the dollar's position today, but the belief that its dominance will last forever. And ironically, America's biggest challenge in preserving that position is not in Beijing, it is in Washington itself.